Hey folks, welcome to the Advancing Mandolinist course. I'm Joe Walsh, and we're going to be checking out one of my favorite tunes today, a beautiful tune called Big Country by Bela Fleck. There's other big country tunes out there in the bluegrass pantheon, but this is the one that I particularly dig. You can hear it on, he's recorded it with the Fleck tones, and he's also recorded it with Edgar Meyer and Mike Marshall on the great Uncommon Ritual record, which if you don't have it, just hit pause and go find that record. It's really one of the life-changing records out there. And you might have also heard this tune on the record that Mike Marshall and Hamilton de Hollanda recorded. They recorded it as a mandolin duet. So there's a couple different versions out there. We're going to be checking it out in the key of G. Now, on the Bela recordings, he recorded it in the key of E, with his banjo tuned, a banjo tuned down to E. But he's basically playing out of a G shape, and I think that any banjo player that you might encounter who wants to play this tune with you will not want to tune down to E. They're going to want to play it using G shape chords and motion in the key of G. So we're gonna check this tune out in the key of G today. Now that it's actually a really fairly simple melody. It won't be technically challenging. The challenge will be that the phrasing on this tune is unique. It has some pauses that you just have to get in your ear. None of the things we're going to try and play will stretch you with your left hand or your right hand technically, but the stretch will be in your musicality and your sense of phrasing growing here on this one. So I'm just going to go ahead and play through the tune for a moment. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now that you've heard the tune, why don't I just go ahead and put the A section under a microscope, and I'll play the A section by itself, and then we'll kind of break it up into pieces. So here's from the top of the A, 1, 2, 1, 2. a bunch of simple phrases. Melodically, it's just quarter notes and eighth notes, or quarter notes and half notes, really simple stuff. But of course, the challenge will be feeling how long the phrases are and being able to hear the melody as you improvise over these phrases later on. So let's check out this first phrase. It's going to go 1, 2, a 1, 2. I'll do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Here comes again. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Now, anytime that you learn a melody from a banjo, you're sort of having to arbitrarily decide which notes are the really most important ones and which ones are less. They're sort of arpeggiating the chord and less crucial in terms of playing the melody. So this is just a version of the melody, but you can feel free to loosely maintain a relationship to what I'm doing and make your changes as you like. So, for example, that's certainly also the melody. So using that kind of thought process through the whole melody that we're going to check out, you could always be interpreting and embellishing this simple melody on every phrase throughout this whole song. And I would say, in fact, if you don't, it won't be as interesting as it could be. So that's the first phrase. I'm going to play the first phrase one more time and then go right into the second phrase just to start to get acclimated to the sense of how long we're going to rest on that 4 chord. 1, 2, a 1, 2. So let's check out that second phrase. Starts out pretty similarly. It's actually the same length. So structurally, it's kind of a very similar phrase to the first phrase, but there's a few different, of course, different notes. So it's 1, 2, a 1, 2. So we're going from 1 to 3. That being the melody note. If I were playing this by myself, I'd be trying to fill in some other notes around that 3 chord, which is a B minor chord. So I'm going to loop that second phrase a couple times and just try and get it in your ear. What I'm going to do is do the pause between my loops of the second phrase the same length as the pause would be between the second and third phrase. So you get used to the space being the same. So it's 1, 2, a 1, 2. Here we go. So then that would be the start of the third phrase. So let's check out this third phrase for a moment. It goes 1, 2, a 1, 2. And let's do that again. I added a double step that you don't have to add. It's a beautiful thing to add, but you don't have to feel like it's the crucial part of the melody. So coming again to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Here comes again 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. About a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So that's a pretty simple phrase too. The difference between this phrase and the other phrase is that previous phrases were 6-bar phrases, and this one's a 7-bar phrase. You can think about it if you want to, or you can just get used to hearing how long the phrase is. But the important part to note is that when you get to this, it's 1 bar longer of a breath or a pause melodically before the 4th phrase. So it's just a little bit longer than the space between the 1st and 2nd phrase and the 2nd and 3rd phrase. So now we've got 3 phrases out of 4. Let's check out this last phrase. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. I'm going to do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So pretty simple melodically, just like the other phrases. This phrase is like the 3rd phrase, a little bit longer than the 1st and 2nd phrases. So you've got, once you get back to the 1 chord, right here, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So that would be the top of the A section if you were repeating, or the top of the B section if we were moving on. So, just to get our ears wrapped around this phrasing, I think we should just hang out on the A section and try and put these phrases all together. So let's go from the top. 1, 2, 1, 2. Four, 1, 2. We're going to repeat this A section. Here comes 1, 2. Let's repeat it again. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So that's the A section. Let's go over those chords. You can start adding some other notes to the double stops you're playing. So from the top, you got a 1 chord, a G chord. G, here's C. So you may have already noticed that this is the melody note, and I've been adding a C on the A string so that we're hearing these 2 notes in the context of this chord instead of this chord. So that first phrase, one more time, is 1, G, and then C. Second phrase would be G, B minor, E minor, G, C. Now it walks down, so it's C, followed by C over B, and then A minor for 2 bars, back to G, D, back to G. Paying attention to that walk down is one thing you can do to stay aware of where you are in that 3rd phrase. So by which I mean, if we started on the 3rd phrase, E minor, G, G, here's C. You know that this is happening, C, C over B, and then it's 2 bars. It's a square phrase once you get to A minor. Hopefully that gives you some reference points and some landmarks to look for along the way. A lot of this, like everything, is just getting it in your head and trying not to think about it. So it's the kind of thing where you probably just want to listen to it to the point where you're able to sing it without intellectually trying to count or intellectually having to picture the bars. It's just try and feel it.